3, 7 to 18. Today we'll be reading through verses 7 and 8. Our first verse. Elegen un tois ek poruomenois oklois baptisthenai hup autu. Genemata ekidonon tis hupegdexen humin fugain apo tes meluses orges. In this first verse, we have two indicative verbs and then a couple participles and a couple infinitives. Our first verb is elegen, which is an imperfect indicative active third singular form of Lego. So imperfect meaning it has that ongoing sense. I know that Mount says that when you see an imperfect form of Lego, you should just translate it as a simple past. But I actually think that there's something here in it having that imperfective continual sense, whether it was something that he would say often, or whether it would be a customary thing that he would say. I'm just going to translate this though as he was saying, just to keep it as plain as possible. Okay. And the subject here being John the Baptist. So this follows on from the passage that we read through last week. Our next verb is hupedexen, which is an aorist indicative active third singular form of hupodake numi. So dake numi meaning to show. The hupo sort of intensifies it. So I'm going to go with pointed out, I think. Pointed out, warned, suggested, something a bit stronger than showed. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and we'll fill out the rest of the verse, and we'll pick up those participles and the infinitives as we go. All right. So the first thing we should notice here is that we've got an un. That is a postpositive, so we'll want to move that to the start of our translation. I usually translate un with then. It can also be translated with therefore or consequently. Sometimes I'll go with so. I try not to use big words if I don't have to. Then he was saying, and then we have a dative participial phrase. So here, okay. So this is ekporu omenois is adjectival. You can tell by its placement between the article and the noun, okay? And they're all dative plural forms. So this is a present, it's poruomai, so it's deponent. It's present participle, and it's masculine dative plural of ek poruomai. So meaning to go out or to come out. I think because the focus is on John here, coming out works better. So we would translate this phrase as he was saying to the crowds coming out. And then we have baptisthenai. So the thane there shows us that it's an aorist. infinitive passive of baptizo. Okay, to the crowds coming out to be baptized. By him. So then we have an open quote here. And genemata ekidnon, ekidnon, sorry, is you'll probably recognize this as brood of vipers. I want to pick up the gen in there, and I'm going to say offspring. Offspring of vipers. Okay, and this is vocative, and this is vocative, so it's direct address. So you could even potentially put an exclamation point there. Brood of vipers or offspring of vipers, and then we have our interrogative tis, because you can see that acute accent there. Who pointed out to you? And then we have another infinitive here, which is also aorist. Aorist infinitive active of fugo, to flee from. And then we have another participial phrase here with meluses acting as an adjective. It's a present active participle. It's feminine genitive singular, like the words around it of mellow. So mellow meaning I am about to. So it, as an adjective here, it's probably like coming. From the coming wrath. Okay. And now we continue on with our next verse. Poie sate, again. Carpus axius tes metanoias kai me archeisthe legen en heautois. Patera ekomen ton Abraham. Lego gar humin hoti dunatai ho theos ek ton lithon tuton egerai tekna to Abraham. Okay, we have several verbs in this verse as well. We start off here with an imperative. It's an aorist imperative active. Second plural, see the te ending there of poieo. So we know that poieo means I do or I make. Here, because it's being paired with carpus, which is fruit, I'm going to say bear. Okay. Now, often when I'm doing a rough translation, if it's an imperative, I'll just pop that an exclamation point after it just to make it clear in my head that it's an imperative. All right. And then the next thing we have is a subjunctive here, arxeste, which is an aorist subjunctive middle, second plural of archomai. And it's paired here with may, so it's sort of a prohibition. All right, so we would say probably do not begin. Okay. And then we have ekomen, which is a simple present indicative active first plural of echo. We have Lego, which is present indicative active first singular form. So meaning I say. We have dunatai, which is a present indicative Middle third singular of dunamai is able. All right. I think that's the last of them. There are a couple of infinitives as well, but we'll pick them up as we go along. So, starting back at the beginning, poiesate, un. So we've got un again, then bear, fruits, worthy fruits. So axios is adjectival, and it's describing, saying what sort of fruits they need to bear. Worthy of repentance. So it's in genitive. And do not begin. And then here we've got legein, present infinitive, active of lego. So to say, to yourselves. So this prepositional phrase, en heautois, in yourselves, is the way they would word it, but to make it into better English, we'd probably use to. So do not begin to say to yourselves, we have patera, father, Abraham. So we have Abraham, probably is how we would word it, Abraham as father. Okay? So that's what they're saying to themselves. For another post-positive, for I say to you that God is able from these stones. And then we have agerai, which is an aorist infinitive, active of agero, to raise children, tekna, children, for Abraham. Okay, let's go ahead and have a look at my translation. Then he was saying to the crowds coming out to be baptized by him, offspring of vipers, who pointed out to you to flee from the coming wrath? Then bear fruits, worthy of repentance, and do not begin to say to yourselves, we have Abraham as father. For I say to you that God is able from these stones to raise children for Abraham.